Hi everyone. For this week's assignment, you're going to be writing a source summary. And for this assignment, you need to be able to use APA formatting. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to use that just kind of quickly summarize what we're doing. All right, so you're going to start out your assignment with introducing it. So you will provide the title of the article you've chosen, some background information about it, bibliographic information about it that kind of sets the stage, okay? And as you can see, I've done that here in that first paragraph. Then you're going to summarize the content of the article. You're going to look for the main arguments found in that article, and you're going to share those with the reader, okay? Because I am summarizing from the article, I need to cite that information. Anytime you take information from an outside author and explain it or use it, you have to give that author credit, okay? Always give credit where credit is due. It's not your ideas, it's not your research, it's not your thoughts. So you have to be able to cite where the origin of that thought came from, okay? So in this case, I start talking both authors' main idea about the topic is to help readers gain an understanding about how and why cyberbullying occurs so frequently among teens. The focus group consisting of middle school and high school students talked about how cyberbullying is cowardly and a gutless way someone deals with conflict with another. Okay, then I have to cite that summarized bit of information. It's all my own words, but it's somebody else's idea, so I have to cite it. And the way you cite a paraphrase or a summary is to insert the author's last name or names. In this case, it's Weber and Palfrey, using an ampersand, and then a comma, and then 2014, and then the period goes after it. Okay. Then I'm going on to discuss more information about the summary, about the article, excuse me. So then I will, as you can see, there are more cited paraphrases throughout my summary, and I've also chosen to insert one direct quote of no more than 40 words. Okay, so it sometimes is very beneficial to use the expert language because it's a good bit of information, and you think, oh man, if I tried to summarize that, it really wouldn't sound as good. So you can use a direct quote to really add a little bit of muscle to your information, but you have to be careful to only use one direct quote per paragraph is what I recommend, and to make sure that that direct quote is at least under 40 words, okay? I try to keep it closer to 30 at the most. So anytime you introduced a direct quote, you might start out with something like, it states, okay? And then here's my direct quote. Being home alone and behind a computer gives the individuals the courage to say how they feel without the fear of repercussions, and yada, yada, yada. Okay, and then here, because the direct quote is somebody else's words, I have to insert quotation marks, okay? And I have to insert that in text citation, okay? And in this case, my in-text citation includes the author's last name or names, the year, and then the page number. Okay, so you need to look at the actual text, look for the page number on which you found that direct quote, and insert the one page number. Okay. And then at the end, you also need to include a reference citation in APA formatting. Now, what is really handy about having to include the reference citation and having access to the Argosy University Library is that the University Library has a cite tool that you can use that will automatically generate your reference citations, not your in-text citations that go with summaries and paraphrase, but it will cite your reference citations in APA formatting. Let's take a peek at that. Okay, so we're going to look at our course content, module source summary. Okay, let's read about the assignment. We already know we're summarizing one source. So then we also need to, first of all, before we begin, select a topic and source. You have to select your topic or your article from a pre-selected course list, okay? And you have to use this course list throughout the entire course, okay? So here's the topics and sources that you can choose from. In this case, I'm going to choose the cyberbullying section. You can see there are many options. And I'm going to copy and paste the information. Now, that is not in APA formatting. Okay, that's just the source information. Okay, now I'm going to go into our library and I'm actually going to look for that article. So in order to access our library, we go up to the Help button. Okay, then we hit Academic Resources. Then we hit the Library. Okay, and then we're going to launch that library. I'm going to find an article. Remember, all of the articles are listed there, so I'm going to click here. Then the two main databases in our library to use, the really generalized databases, are ProQuest and EBSCOhost. So in this case, I'm just going to choose EBSCOhost. I'm going to launch that. Okay. Then I'm going to copy and paste my source information in there, and I'm going to search for it. All right. And as you can see, it popped right up. Okay. So it says cyberbullying causes, consequences, and coping strategies. Okay. Now, in order to actually use this APA formatting tool, I'm going to select it. Okay. And over here on the right hand side, you can see many options. Okay. There's this great tool right here called Cite. I'm going to click on that. Okay, then you can see it cites it in all sorts of different formatting options. There's more formatting options than APA, but we are using APA. So then I copy this, Control C, I highlight it, copy it, hit Control C, go back to my Word document, and then I hit Control V, and it copies and pastes it in APA formatting. It also does this weird green thing, which is annoying. So in order to fix that, then I can highlight it. First of all, look at it to make sure you know what's italicized and what's not italicized. Then I go up here and I can erase formatting. Okay, and that takes it all out. But then I have to go back, and because it erases all the formatting, I have to go back and italicize what was italicized before, which was the book title. All right, so then that is posted in APA formatting. Okay, so the Argosy library will do this for you. It is an easy tool to use, and I hope that I've demonstrated how to do it. The same feature is available in ProQuest as well. So if you have any questions about anything, please let me know. All right, hang in there. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.